Hello, America. Welcome to the Junto Podcast, where we promote the practical applications of critical thinking and bold creativity. I'm your host, Edgar Mills. Thank you for joining us. Hello, America. Welcome back. This is episode 64. I appreciate you guys for sticking with me. All right. Today we're talking about a topic that is probably kind of awkward for a lot of people. But I did, in fact, write an essay on this, or a blog. I wrote a blog on this last year. And this is based on that blog loosely. I've done a little more research on stuff, but and I'm trying to avoid politics for a while. I did a couple of communism episodes, and I mean that even brought me down. So I'm trying to go a little easy breezy, but I think this will help. And the topic is, well, sex life after 50, right? But maintaining and even having a thriving sex life with your spouse after the age of 50 in your latter year, when your kids are grown and maybe even got grandkids. I think my essay was pretty succinct. And one of the things I said in there was that maintaining a rigorous sexual relationship with your spouse after the age of 50, I mean, that unlocks a lot of stuff, like a mix of a newfound sort of joy and appreciation for one another, sort of a newfound vulnerability, or at least a freedom to be vulnerable with your spouse that maybe you didn't have before. And then, and a sort of a freedom to drop any pretenses of whatever and just tell it like it is. And that's the beauty of getting older, is you can do that, and especially when you've known someone for 4 decades. I mean, that's sex in the latter years is it's pretty awesome. Yeah, even then, the daily efforts of life grind on us and they work on us. And man, even today, I'm stressed out about a life event. But when you come together, and I'm going to use the word fuse, with your spouse, the person that you love and treasure the most, I will say orgasmic pleasure, but it's deeper than that even, can be like a friggin' miracle cure for life's things. Yeah, like a miracle cure. Those things don't go away, but man, it's very nice to just be able to put them in perspective. It makes everything okay, or at least makes you okay. And your spouse. But it's not just physical. It's not just physical pleasure, is it? Nope, it's not. It's emotional sometimes, for sure. Sometimes, man, it can even be spiritual. Depends on what's going on and the build up to that. But that trust and that closeness kind of affirms your relationship, that despite all the bull crap, despite the decades of ups and downs and all that and the pain that maybe you've inflicted on one another or endured from one another, that even through all that your love does still endure, right? So that making love is an affirmation of that. Now, when you're a teenager, it's not. It's different when you're a teenager, right? When you're a 15-year-old kid, okay, let's say 18-year-old kid, your dick is hard when the wind blows. It doesn't matter. When you're a grown-ass man, it's a whole nother ballgame. So yeah, it's an affirmation of your guys' relationship, a physical affirmation, but like I said, it can be very emotional. So today, I'm kind of throwing this topic to all the couples out there, the married couples who listen to me. Well, man or woman, it doesn't matter. This is for everyone. And if you're one of my female clients listening to this, share it with your husband. and vice versa. It's valid. There's good stuff here. So, and also look, it is my opinion. I am giving a lot of opinion here, but I'm giving opinion that's backed up by a little bit of science, right? I've looked at some studies from Mayo, from the National Institute of Health, and yes, even some AARP backed studies. All right. Yes, even AARP. So, and then I'm going to a forewarning ahead. There may be some explicit language in this episode. So if you listen with your kid because you think I'm going to talk about some cool shooting stuff, maybe don't this time. Not bad words, just yeah. So the first thing I want to address in this topic is a biblical view of sex as told in the Bible. Now, I'm going to caveat that and say and tell you that I have zero authority to speak on the Bible. Just my opinion, the way I interpret the things that I read. That's it. And understand that. It's my opinion. But I believe, and I think I'm right, that the Bible does in fact celebrate marital sex. I mean, and I do mean celebrate. and it celebrates it as God's gift. Sex is God's gift to a couple. And then what a gift it is. And explicitly, you'll see where like it's not a duty. Like a woman is not beholden to. It's your duty to satisfy the man's urges. No, that's not what's going on in there at all. It's meant that you both delight in each other. So I'm going to tell you one of the scriptures that I read that backs this up. And this, look, did I do a whole lot of context on these? No. Do I know the Greek words for everything? No. Just giving you some surface level scripture that supports what I'm talking about. Proverbs. It looks like chapter 5, 18, 19. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth, a loving doe, a graceful deer. May her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be intoxicated by her love. Oh, man. That's pretty serious business, isn't it? May you ever be intoxicated by her love. Let's see. Paul writes to the Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 7, verses 3 through 5. The husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but yields it to her husband. In the same way that the husband does not have authority over his own body, but yields it to his wife. Do not deprive each other, except perhaps by mutual consent and for a time. That's what it says. And I add, but not too long a time. Yeah, the Bible's telling you, one belongs to the other, not one more than the other. And don't hold back on each other. That's what it says. And then the whole, Song of Solomon. Yeah, it kind of paints us up a picture of like passion and playfulness and a marital sort of love that's the bodies are delighting and desire is running wild within the covenant, things like that. And yeah, so you don't have to be uptight because you believe in God and Jesus with your spouse. It was a gift given by God. And when you give a gift, you expect that gift to be used in its fullest. That's the whole point. Yep. And then in my essay, I talked about it a little bit, and I'll hit it here again in a minute, but I said that you both enjoy each other because you both will it, but you both will it because God wills it. Yeah, man, it's there. It's a thing that can be celebrated and lifted up and Just enjoyed for what it is. Yeah. I strongly believe that you honor that gift by pursuing that gift in its fullest glory. Yep. So that's what I think the biblical part of that is. That's what I think. I could be wrong. Again, if you're one of my Christian listeners and you want to school me up, please do. If I'm all wrong, please let me know. All right, what does science say about the whole thing? Well, science treats healthy sex kind of like a secret weapon a little bit for your longevity, for good health. And there's a physical payoff there, and not just the physical payoff, but a long-term physical payoff. Regular sex boosts your immune system. It can lower your blood pressure, and it can cut out those kind of harmful stress hormones. I'm reading a lot about cortisol these days. And then from a NIH study, and then also an AARP backed study, that it confirms that couples over 50 who stay sexually active have better heart health, stronger pelvic muscles, we know that elderly people, they tend to fall and break the pelvis. Gives you stronger pelvic muscles to support that, and then lower risk for certain types of cancer, to include prostate cancer. And it says that the prostate protection for men is from ejaculating more often. Imagine that. Imagine that. Healthy prostate from ejaculation. So there's health benefits to it as well. Let's see what we got. A 2016 study of nearly 7,000 adults. That's a pretty good sample size for some of these types of studies. From the age range of 50 to 89, found that those who had sex more often scored higher on memory tests. Yeah, it showed that the frequent sexual activity linked to better brain health, ultimately to better quality of life, and to a longer lifespan. Yeah, man. This is science saying this. So I started out straight away with the Bible, confirming sex with your spouse is good. Now science is confirming sex with your spouse is good. Okay. Helps you sleep better. Can even help to more effectively fight depression. Yeah. And there is that oxytocin rush. Yeah, there are chemicals going on when you reach that orgasm, that climax, that pinnacle. There are chemical reactions happening. Yeah, and those, it turns out, are good. Turns out those are good things. And it makes you feel closer to your spouse. Yeah. So that's the scientific part of it, that it's a physical remedy for a lot of like long-term issues, all wrapped up in a happy little package of pleasure, like real proper pleasure. So the daily slog seems a little less taxing on you, and you both might walk with a little more pep in your step throughout your day, and you might be a little easier, might laugh a little easier, be a little more light. Yeah. And a good roll in the hay with your wife or husband might be that one little reminder of why you chose each other anyway. So science, the Bible and science backs what we already know to be true. We already know that sex is good. And just because you're getting older, don't make sex any less good. It just makes it maybe, I don't know, a little tougher to get there. We'll talk about that stuff. But to round out a good, healthy routine at my age, at our age, those of us over 50, yeah, go to the gym, eat well, drink a whole lots of water, make love to your wife. Yeah. All right. It isn't easy, is it? there's a catchphrase I say all the time, and I don't know where I heard it at. I don't know where it was originated, but love is a verb. Yep, love is a thing that requires effort. It's not a feeling. It's not a feeling. It's an act. It's an outward act that it makes you feel a certain way, but that's not love. The love is what you do. And it demands your effort. If you want to maintain it, you have to put the effort into it. And you both know it. And you both know that it does take effort. The teenage lust that was once omnipresent. Now, I can't speak for girls, young girls, but young teenage boys, lust was ever present. And that lasts for a while. From your teen, when you hit puberty, freaking 12, 13, whatever, up through your maybe 20s, it's always there. It's always there. But it starts to wane. But we got to rise above the lust anyway, right? We know now. I've talked about lust being a deadly sin, but lusting for your wife, but not, is that really a sin, right? As long as you're not putting the lust above the Lord, right? So, but the lust wanes at any rate. It wanes. And the love, still, you have to feed it intentionally. Yeah, you have to feed it. Because, hey, man, we got tired muscles. We got creaky bones. We got low testosterone, all that stuff. And then never mind whatever that period of life is when you go and you have insecurities. Or even now, I might have a little insecurity with my dad bod, Or as a woman, you might have a little insecurity with maybe you put on a little weight or whatever. Maybe you're getting wrinkles and that's stressing you out pretty hard. So you have to work to get past that stuff and squash it. And it ain't really that hard to squash, especially if you've been together for a long time. But you have to deliberately, again, choose each other. Not daily, but sort of daily. Yeah. So be deliberate, make a date night, or, that might end up, naked in bed together. Like, go have that conversation. Hey, babe, let's go get some dinner, come home and bathe up and put some candles on, whatever. Be deliberate about it. Flirt with each other. Now, I don't want to be too revealing about my own personal life, but if I had to count how many times I touch my wife's ass throughout the day, it's pretty significant. And it's nothing gaudy or grotesque. A little pinch on the butt and a little kiss on the neck, man. That's flirting, isn't it? I mean, you might do it so often it's kind of routine, but yeah, I do. I like to pinch her butt and give her a little kiss on the neck, especially when she's in the kitchen. I don't know why. There's a connection, maybe. She's cooking me some eggs. I feel the love, Yeah, it's a verb. You got to do things. Flirt with each other, Give those little touches when they're not normal. Yeah, those little touches when they're not normal. And then back to science, right? The Mayo Clinic says that if we exercise together and eat well together and build stronger bodies, that we will have better sex. And yeah, that scans, right? If you're physically fit, you're going to have better or at least healthy sex. And what's the reward? Well, we know what the reward is. But as you get older, that reward's it's a little different. It's that connection that continually strengthens and gets a little deeper and a little deeper. I mean, especially I can speak for me and my wife and I. We've known each other since 1987, and for some of you, I mean that's a long time. You're like, oh my God, that's insane. And I said we known each other. We dated, for a long time, and then but we've been married nearly. Will this year be 30 years? Yep, September, 30 years. So you've got history, right? We've got, and look, there's been some hard fought downtime there, some battles. Mostly my fault, certainly, but there's been near misses. There's been there's been a lot of stuff, and we fought through it. So after all of those ups and downs, and you can still rediscover each other sexually and touch each other in very special ways. It's just again, an affirmation, a confirmation that you guys you chose well. Yeah, you chose well. If you're a woman and the thought of having sex with your husband makes you sick to your stomach, you guys have not chosen well. That's something you might be able to overcome, but like, how did you get to that point? And if you are at that point, I mean, oh my God. So, yeah, love is a verb. Make the efforts, take the actions, do the extra little things. It don't have to cost a lot of money. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture at all. Sometimes that might be a good thing. I don't know. It depends on your lifestyle, I guess, but make the effort and do the little verbs. Do them. So, what's another good thing about a well-seasoned marriage is that eventually, man, even when you're young and full of lust and curiosity and exploration, there's still inhibitions, right? You don't know how far or how far to or not to go. You don't know, well, is she going to like this? Or I don't know. I'm scared to blah, blah, blah. And then as a female, you don't, I don't, well, no, I'm not going to tell a story, but so what I'm saying is as the years go by now, you should have been, or you should be able to drop all these inhibitions and these little hang-ups and these little sort of irrational fears or nervousness about sexual things. Because what you should know by now is that every little blemish or every little mole or scar or wrinkle or birthmark, it's not even a flaw. It's what makes you uniquely you. They're not flaws at all. They are what makes you you. And us real humans, I find those flaws very attractive. What I don't find attractive is what you see on TV and the social medias and things with all the Brazilian butt lifts and the fake this and the skin and the tans and the faces and the lips. None of that is attractive at all. And I'm not just giving that lip service. I'm saying it's unattractive. It's unappealing. I made a comment today. Me and a guy went back and forth on a little comment about AI fatigue. Well, artificial intelligence, the way people are getting sick of that, well, that's artificial. What is it? What are we calling it? Artificial beauty or something. I fatigued out on that straight away, like in the 80s even. So the inhibitions should not really have that deep of an effect on you anymore. There's just no need. It's just too much energy to put into that. You are who you are, and by the age of 50 or above, you should live it, love it, own it, right? The imperfections are what make you perfectly you. So being comfortable in that, and that your spouse is comfortable in that, should be a warm little safe haven, warm little safe space that you two should be able to unleash all of any your wants and needs and desires you want without any worry of other little hang-ups. Now, yeah, when you were young, you how awkward was sex when you were young, you know? Yeah. Well, sex after 50 allows you to, yeah, 100% go all in. Be as naughty as you want, be as impassioned as you want, be as overwhelmed, full of pleasure, grunt like a caveman, whatever. It's all there for you to do, and your spouse is either going to giggle at it, it's going to turn her on, or whatever. It's you two being you two. And when you give yourself, one, fully knowing what you want, and then you give yourself fully to your spouse, you give yourself not so that you can get off. It's not so that you can come and go to sleep. No, you give yourself to your spouse with full intentions of giving the most pleasure you can give away. Yeah, give that pleasure away. And then you'll get it back and tenfold. But you give it away. And then you two, whatever, you can fight for who's giving who the most, right? Don't be selfish. Don't be a selfish lover with the woman in your life that you're till death do us part. Don't be selfish. anybody can masturbate and come. That's not the conclusion. That's not it. That's not what we're going for when we make love. So give one without expectation, and then what you get in return will just be way more than you imagined. I suspect. These are things I suspect. Oh my God. Yeah. And then bask in each other's pleasure. Yeah. Bathe yourself in each other's pleasure. And at this age, right, at the comfort zone that you should be in with yourself, never mind your spouse, and it's a safe space that you guys have created over the years. Like now, even when you got the sexy music on and the candles on and whatnot, and you climb into bed and you hear bones creaking, and you guys can giggle and drive on, you know what I mean? Or when you're, you know, when you're sweating it out and you're mid-stroke and then you get that cramp in your foot. just work the cramp out and take a minute and then get back to it. It's not going to kill the mood. Maybe when you're a teenager, or 20, but yeah, man, just laugh it off. You guys can do that. You've earned that. For one, you've earned that. You shouldn't have any old emotional scars or sexual stigmas hanging around. That, you know what I mean? Get rid of them. There's no need. Now, look, I'm not telling you to go out and be porn stars and start swinging and all that. I'm saying with each other in the comfort of your bedroom or living room or by the pool, do what you two feels good for you two. Yeah. All those old stigmas and hang-ups, they can disappear if you allow them. If just say, okay, be gone, and they will be gone. I know coming up as children, especially with the religious stigma attached to sex, it's all dirty, and they don't tell you that it's not dirty. It's just before marriage, right? Oh, no sex before marriage, and all those things. And I'm not going to get into church, doctrine and policy about that kind of thing, but, and I'm not saying anything about it. I'm saying you can be stigmatized as a youth to look at sex as something that's ugly and maybe even evil, and it's not. It's just not. Yeah, man. At this age, you can be free of that shit. And how can we be free of all that? How? Well, obviously, being open and honest with each other. But what do you need to be honest with someone? What has to come before that? Trust. Yes. You have to trust each other that you won't be belittled, or you won't be thought of as a pervert or whatever, or you won't be, yeah, you have to have a trust that you can say the things you want to say. Now, I'm sure there's some lines to be drawn out there, folks. There's a lot of weird shit out there, but yeah, if you trust your spouse enough to be honest, then be honest. Yeah. That's the that's the foundation that precedes the really just mind-blowing amazing lovemaking. Because as we're older, our bodies form like an insurgency against us, man. They're working against us, all the bits and pieces, and especially the hormones and stuff. So, yeah, and a woman, my wife, for example, I mean, she's got some kind of unregulated hormones a little bit, and so things happen, right? So you can address some of these things can be medically addressed, like safely medically addressed, not crazy shit. And yes, lifestyle, right? Food and the things you intake, but sometimes still even you need a little medical boost, and that's fine. For guys, what's the number one thing? Low testosterone. Then you can't get an erection, or you get an erection, but it's not very intense, or don't last very long, and then that causes all sorts of anxiety. Oh my God, it's so. And then what about women? Right? Well, they stop producing. They get vaginal dryness or something, and it's all the flowy juices stop flowing. Whether they whether they're turned on or not, it's just the hormones aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So that stuff happens, and that puts a lot of pressure on people. And we got to fight through that pressure. That's a part of. I'm saying, hey, we're over 50, nothing matters. We should be able to do what we want. Yeah, but even then, there might be a little performance anxiety still. Like you still want to please your woman. So there's a sort of a passive trust that we're just not going to be judged. You know what I mean? And then there's like an active trust, and that is the ability for you to come out and say what turns you on. Yeah, that's it. If you can look your wife in butt naked in the middle of the night, baby, please squeeze it. Please do this. Baby, please do that. Or your wife, baby, please put your mouth on. Yeah, please touch. I want this. I want that. You don't have to be polite. Don't say, please tell them. Whatever. But, or if something that you've been doing for the past 20 years seems like it's routine, it's just not doing it anymore, say, hey, look, that feels good, but let's try this. You got to have an active trust to be able to do that, because nobody wants to be looked at like a weirdo while you're out trying to get your groove on. Nobody wants to be thought of poor, or just like scratched a record. What? Nobody wants that. Yeah. Tell your man and your woman what you want. Baby, please go down on me. Yeah, do it. I hate to keep going back to the Mayo Clinic, but they even say that open and direct talk during sex prevents obstacles, right? That's like a preemptive strike. And somebody's been together for, 20, 30 years. There shouldn't be any judgment anyway. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be any judgment anyway. And if you guys plan a little naughty night, and everybody starts yawning pretty early, and you still you fight through it, and you get naked and get in bed, and things just don't go down, love on each other. You can kiss. Yeah. Just touch. Try again tomorrow. You don't have to let that gnaw at your psyche if you can't perform, or if there's neither one of you in the mood. You both wanted to be in the mood, but you just can't. You're mentally exhausted or whatever. You don't have to let that gnaw at your psyche, because worrying about it just makes it 10 times worse. And it is completely possible, folks, to be intimate with your lover without penetration, without the release of bodily fluids. Yeah, it's without oral sex, even. And I'll say this turn the lights off and lay together on your side face to face, close enough to where you can feel their breath on your lips. And just rub your hand along the arm. Yeah, that's it. Just a little gentle kiss, man. That's some intimate shit right there. It's magical. Or you can just talk dirty to each other. Don't have to be for sex. You can just be a little naughty. You got to use bad words either. No need for crass language. If you ever just come up and nestled your nose on your wife's neck and just breathed in and told her she smelled good, yeah, try it. You're in the middle of a day. Just call your wife up and say, tell her you had a fantasy and tell her about it. Yeah, man, that conversation itself becomes the foreplay, whether you close the deal or not. Yeah, man, still foreplay is worth it. Just stand alone. So again, I keep saying at this age, why not? Why not explore? Why not open up your imagination a little bit? Yeah, why not? Both of you together, let your imaginations work into your psyche, into your weekly rhythm, and like, yeah, and then surprise each other, and do it as a form of a gift of pleasure, not as a goddamn task. Yeah, not as a task. I know I keep going back to this Mayo Clinic stuff, but yeah, I'll obviously add spice. There's a lot of things you can do, right? The different positions or prolonged foreplay and the, toys, the bunny rabbit and whatnot, and the various fantasies. Who knows what? There might be a lot of stuff. You might find that one thing that you guys have never done before or tried before, and it's the thing. It's like, oh, this is fantastic. There's a lot of stuff there's a lot of ways to spice things up, but you don't need all that stuff, really. You can start with, like I said, the extended foreplay. Just call your wife up in the middle of the day and tell her, when I come home, I want to eat you up. And then physically, yeah, let the foreplay, don't just dive in, man. I don't know how common it is. I haven't done any polling myself. But if you're a man and you don't take your time to do a little exploration and a little playful, exploration, right? Touching the bits, all the bits, tasting all the bits, a little massage on, all the things. Don't just jump in there and go to town. I don't think a lot of women like that. I don't think. Or giving each other massages. Everybody knows if you're a married couple, a massage leads to sex. Everybody knows it. Now you can have a night where you just do the massage. Maybe a little sensual, but you ain't got to actually close the deal, right? You ain't got to just have the massage. Yeah. And then of course, yes, oral sex is magical. If you don't think so, you're missing out. Yeah, you're missing out if you're not doing that with your spouse. And not only do it with selflessness, right? Not only that, not only give without expectation, but I mean genuinely love and devour it. Take it in. And then, you can experiment with positions, There's all kind of stuff for those of us with aging joints, right? And this is one of my faves. What about spooning with your side, right? And you enter from behind. And you got one arm wrapped underneath her. You have another arm free to roam, to squeeze the breasts or go down. Yeah. Spooning. That's a good one. I like that one a lot. And that's a good. Do you guys, now, if you're a guy, and I welcome your feedback on this, if you're a guy, is morning time the right time? Do you still wake up with an erection? Yeah, I do. But as a woman, I think you're like, oh no, we got morning breath. Oh, I'm not. No, I need to take a shower. This and that and the other. Look, man. In my opinion, morning time is the right time. In my opinion, yeah, it's good. It's good. And then you can use the wedges or the pillows and to kind of get yourself at advantageous angles so as not to hurt yourself. And the trusty old missionary position works real nice. Yes. Even if, yeah, throw a little pillow under the lower back there. Yeah, works good. Toys, various toys if you're into that kind of stuff. A little, well, little clitoral vibration while you're inside probably creates a pretty strong orgasm. Yeah, probably. A lot of, a lot of polls say that women say that's a game changer, really. And then especially in our older years here, lube, that you should, yeah, especially it takes care of like postmenopausal, right? That takes care of all the dryness and all that stuff. And it makes it slide smooth and everything's nice. Lube is, I think, pretty critical for older couples post-menopause. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, talk naughty to each other once in a while. Just a little whisper here and there, nothing crazy. You got to be Mae West or anything. There's a buildup that you can do. If you do this deliberately, you can see the buildup. You can see it happen. And I tell you one thing, when you're in the throes of lovemaking, and if you're a woman and you tell your husband that you love watching him slide into her, to you, oh my God, that might end it right there, actually. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure, if women respond. I guess it depends on how gaudy and how naughty the talk is, but so I'm not sure, but I know that men, yeah, they'll respond. Yeah. What's something else? Now, look, we're going out a little far here, and I know this is unusual for this podcast, but am I trying to be a self help guru? A little bit, but I've never made it a mystery that I'm a sexual dude. I think these things are important, even at our advanced years here, because I'm by no means old. But consider, if you've never done this, yeah, try mutual masturbation. Now, some of you out there, I imagine some of you Christians out there, I'm not sure. The thought of mutual masturbation is probably a bridge too far. Eh, But if you, well, yeah, if you go side by side and put a hand on each other and do that, and you have your eyes locked in on each, that's good. That's hot. But if you lay down opposite of each other with your legs kind of crossed over in the middle, and one hand, your hand that you're masturbating with, can feel her hand that she's masturbating with, oh my God, it's insane. And it's awesome and it's hot and it's crazy. And what's wrong? What's wrong with it? Yeah, what's wrong with it? Yeah, I say nothing. I say nothing's wrong with it. Now, if you are from some religious denomination that believes that any seed spilt out of, not into the vagina, is somehow evil act, I don't know. I'm not hip to that one. I don't know about that one. And maybe that's a thing for you. I don't know. But If you're like a fairly average guy, and woman, yeah, give it a try. Mutual masturbation is super hot. Or, what's another way to spice things up? Have one night that's just dedicated to one of you. It's all about you tonight. It's all about your pleasure. I do what you say do, the way you say do it. Yeah. And trade off every now and again. You give pleasure without expectation of anything in return. And you just focus and worship her body. Yeah. What's another way to spice things up? Well, yeah, different locations, right? And I say different locations, don't go out in public. I'm saying like probably 90% of you have sex in your bed and only in your bed and never anywhere but your bed. Well, go throw down on the living room couch. Go throw down on the kitchen island. Yeah, I mean, clean up afterwards. But like, yeah, go throw down, hey, naked by the pool. Yeah, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Why should there be? What about another thing? Now, look, I did a podcast on pornography, and I came out about probably middle of the road of it, and probably upset a few maybe Christian types. But what about erotic literature? Is that the same as pornography? Can we do erotic literature? Well, I tell you this: reading erotic literature to your spouse while your spouse listens and does other things is friggin' hot. Yeah, it's hot. Now that implies that you know how to read. So, you know. So I'm saying all these things. I mean, I'm giving a lot of like, and this is nothing new. Look, I'm talking to over 50 people right now, right? If you're between 50 and probably 60, I don't know, 62, maybe, you remember Dr. Ruth Westheimer. She was on Westwood One Radio. And on, like, I want to say either Friday or Saturday night, somewhere around 10 o'clock, she would have her show, Dr. Ruth. And then it was a call-in show, talk radio show. And she would give sex advice, and people would call in with all sorts of problems and all sorts of questions, or all sorts of, oh, Dr. Ruth, how can this and how can I do that? And how should I breach this subject? Or, my husband, he only wants to do it from behind. What can I, et cetera, et cetera. And Dr. Ruth, who, if you ever saw her, she was like 5'3", maybe even shorter than that. And she wore like these little, business suits. And I want to say she was German, and she had the funniest little German accent. And she was very, very matter of factly about the way she delivered the information, and she didn't mince words either. So Dr. Ruth. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like I want to be Dr. Ruth here. I want to help people fully enjoy and appreciate their long-term marriages, because here's the news, folks, people in our age range. If you're still married after 10, 20, 30 years, I mean, you're probably a fairly rare statistic. Divorce, over the past 20 or 30 years, man, I mean, I'm a product of divorce. My wife's a product of divorce. Hell, well, my grandmother, for that matter, was divorced a bunch of times. But, like, it became a normal thing, and I don't think that's biblical, I don't think that's biblical. So, yeah, if you're going to go all in and you're going to be married till death, then why not enjoy each other to the fullest too, right? We have to be partners in all other things. Raising our kids it's a partnership, man. Like, and even surviving in the modern economy is sort of a partnership, right? We need help. Slack needs to be picked up somewhere so that we can, slack needs to be picked up somewhere. And we have to have a partner to do that. So if we're partners in all things, why not enjoy our sex lives as fully and deeply as we can. Yeah, that's where I'm at on that. I had some other stuff I want to say here that's, yeah, every sex act between you two, to me, is ordained. And it should be playful, well, or sensual. It should be respectful. It can be animalistic and still be respectful. Yeah, it can be animalistic. I have made funny noises at times because you have a history. You have a mutual respect for one another already, I would hope. If you're married for multiple decades, there is a mutual respect there at some level. And every act, though, and every sexual act, though ordained, must be consensual, correct? So here's the question. Does your wife, man, I'm asking this to the men out there. Does your wife have a right to refuse and to say no on any given thing? I mean, after all, she is your wife. You two do have a responsibility to each other. Yes. The answer is yes. Your wife has every right to say no. That's it and that's all. She has every right to say no. Every sexual act still must be consensual. And that's not wokeness. That's not anything. That's just basic human respect. Because I have known people in the past where the dude was a bit of an a-hole and he demanded sex from his wife whenever he wanted it, and be damn warming her up or foreplay or anything else. He would come home, manhandle her around, do the business, and it caused her pain. It was, so you can't, you can, yeah. Anyway, will I go so far as to call it rape? Probably. Yeah, probably. It's a two-player sport. And if both people aren't enjoying it, what's the point? It's no fun anymore. Yeah. If you're doing it for yourself, just go jack off. You do it to give the pleasure, not to receive the pleasure. Sex is not for you to use as a control mechanism or to wield power. If you do that, you are wrong. If you do that, you are dead wrong. And I welcome your debate. Cherish your woman. Cherish her and cherish her sex. All right? I do. If you're out there and you do believe that and think that, I mean, I do welcome your debate. And I mean debate, not some bullshit quip on social media, right? All right. I didn't mean to go dark on that. You guys know I got to go dark sometimes, on there. But no, I just wanted to point that out. Sex between a man and woman is a gift to be cherished, to be treated with some, well, reverence even. All right. The hurdles, right? We have to adapt. We always have to adapt, folks. As we get older, especially, then the more we have to adapt. Our bodies change. Yeah, our bodies change. So for women, what is it? Menopause. Yeah. And that causes vaginal dryness. It might lower libido. It might even cause depression. So yeah, we use lubrication. We use vaginal moisturizers. We do a little longer foreplay. We get in there and get it warmed up. Women can get on estrogen and use estrogen cream or the patch or whatever. And for dudes, what is it? Erections, right? They're harder to get an erection. They're less intense erections, and then they don't last as long. It might be testosterone, might be other things. So, if it's just testosterone, go get your numbers checked and get on that shot. I'm on that shot. I get the shot. If it is proper erectile, not just testosterone, but erectile dysfunction, go get on that pill, man. Get on the blue, like the Viagra or Cialis. And then there's like over-the-counter ones too, I think. But yeah, man, just if you're over 50, your doc will like, hey, doc, I want to make love to my wife. I have a problem. He'll help you out probably. Yeah. So get the shot, get the pills. There ain't no shame in it. I don't think there's any shame in it. If you do, tell me. Tell me you think there's shame in it. Yeah, man. Beyond that, just focus on that intimate connection together. Just be in the moment together, A little touching, a little kissing, a little smelling, a little nuzzle. Nuzzle up into that armpit. Nuzzle up into the neck. Nuzzle in between her legs. Yeah, nuzzle. Touch each other, skin to skin. It's freaking awesome. Yeah, so find what works. And I don't mean make a formula out of it and just, but find what works. And then experiment with what works and experiment with what doesn't. Hell, half the time the experimentation is as fun as the act itself. Yeah. And then celebrate each other, for each other. And again, back to the studies. Couples who communicate these things with each other last longer. Yep. Couples who express these things openly together and who have the trust to talk to each other in this way, they, one, stay sexually satisfied longer, but stay happier together longer. So yeah, folks, you both deserve it. Now, I'm weary about saying people deserve things. But if you're a couple 30 years into it, 20, 30 years into it, you deserve it. You deserve to have that pleasure with each other. Yeah, you deserve to have that pleasure with you. It's an intrinsic part of your relationship, right? You've had sex at some point. That was a part of maybe not the courting process, but the young love process once you were married. You eventually had kids, right? Sex isn't just a thing for the young. Why should the young only have that? Yeah, it's not some far off echo of your youth either. No. It is a bold and loud and rowdy, it's an homage. It's a love song that a loud love song, a rock song, right? Because you've been together that long. You deserve it to be loud. And it sings about your hard-earned love. That's what that rock song is. It's not some whisper of a younger years. You can be just as bold now. So get rid of the inhibitions if you have any with each other. You should not. Declare out loud your desires with each other, however weird they may be. There's nothing weird between a married couple in the bed. I stand by it. Yeah. And then dive in, man. The naughty pleasures. Be naughty. Be naughty with each other. Be naughty with the person who knows you better than any other person on this planet. Yeah. The daily slog still is the daily slog, right? It's still coming. It happens every day. We work. We fight through problems. We deal with people, et cetera, et cetera. It's the same. But you, all of us who are married and have been, we have a remedy at home. Yeah, a natural remedy. Yeah. So when you get home from work after listening to this, yeah, look at your spouse right in the eyeballs and say, hey, I want you tonight. I want all of you. Yeah. Give your spouse a call at lunchtime and tell them you can't wait to taste them when you get home. Yeah. Try something new once a week. Make it a thing to try something new once every 2 weeks. Yeah, whatever. Put your imaginations together to work, You're like, well, what can we explore? What should we explore? Stoke those embers. Because look, the fire is yours to keep burning. It's easier to fuel the fire a little bit every week than it is to have to rebuild the fire, every few months. Keep the fire burning. Every now and then, put a little extra fuel in there. But keep it burning. Keep it burning. Because when it goes out, it's a pain in the ass. You got to start from scratch. Why do that to yourself? All right, good people. that's what I got today. That's what I wanted to talk about because I think it's not addressed very much, and and it ought to be. Well, especially in the Christian space, man, especially. But never mind the Christian space, like just adults, should address it together. Sex is good. Making love to your spouse is good. It feels good, and there's nothing wrong with it. And again, I tell you, now the scriptures I quoted, I mean, if you want to go that way, it was Proverbs 5:18 and 19, or 18 through 19, and then 1 Corinthians 7, verse 3 through 5. And that was the NIV. I don't know what version you read from. And then the Song of Solomon. So, and then you guys can do your own contextual build out on that if you want. I thought it was helpful to add those. It was helpful for me to add those. So, yeah, that's what I got, folks. Enjoy each other to the fullest. Golly, enjoy each other. Enjoy each other. Yes. Okay. What's OspreyShootingSolutions.com. Please go check it out. We got some stuff still. We got Libertarian Party of Georgia this Saturday, the 13th. We have a pistol workshop this Sunday, the 14th. Then the following weekend, the following Saturday, we have the Sons of Liberty 2-gun match. It's going to be fun. And yes, June 20th, we have armed self-defense, force on force. And that is not full, but it's about to be. So if you think you're interested in doing it's like everyday carry realistic scenarios. But yeah, there will be blue guns and there will be immediate feedback to poor decisions. But there's a lot of problem solving going on. And yeah, armed self-defense. Check it out. It's up on the website. Everything's up on OspreyShootingSolutions.com on the main page. Just scroll down. And then go ahead and please follow and listen to Two Team Guy or check out twoteamguys.com and thejuntopodcast.com. I've been messing around with a new logo, and I did a new version that had the quill, the 2 quills and the ink well and the beer mug, and then I added a microphone to it for the podcast thing. And the current version, yeah, it's artificial intelligence, but I did the original art and then ran it through that. But yeah, some people like the original logo, some like the new one. I don't know. I'm still messing around. Anyway, thejuntopodcast.com on all the podcast platforms. And then, of course, givesendgo.com/help-a-homie-fund. If you have a little extra, please feel free to give us a little bit to help people in need. Okay, good people. Thank you so much for listening to this. Please take this all with an open mind, and please send me your feedback because I would love to hear it. I appreciate each and every one of you. Take care of each other. Have good manners, and love you guys.